Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our regularly scheduled board meeting. As we open the floor tonight, the date, location, and time of this regular meeting will email to the Independent Press, Bloomfield Life, Star Ledger, the Township Clerk of the Township of Bloomfield, and posted on the Bloomfield School District website on January 7th, 2021. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want me to do it, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Ms. Bo, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Berger.
Present.
Ms. Dudley.
Here.
Ms. Green.
Present.
Mr. Heller.
Present.
Mr. Morse.
Here.
Ms. Salinas.
Present.
Vice President Walker.
Here.
President Fishman.
Here. 2A, be it resolved, the Bloomfield Board of Education will adjourn into closed meeting to discuss items which fall on exception of our open meetings policy and permits the board to have private discussion since it deals with specific exceptions contained in NJSA 10:4-12B, specifically collective bargaining agreements. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. Second? Thank you, Mrs. Salinas. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll see you all in about an hour. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our regularly scheduled board meeting. This is a public session, and we are going to kick it off with Dr. Baxter and her friends from Berkeley School. Dr. Baxter, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, distinguished board, Superintendent Mr. Goncalves, Assistant Superintendent Mr. Flores, and Senior Cabinet. On behalf of Berkeley staff, students, and we would like to present Make Time for Mindfulness. We are committed to ensuring our programs and activities support the common goal of building the whole child. The pandemic response team and leadership team has worked tirelessly during this pandemic to ensure that when students return to in-person instruction, we not only addressed instructional loss, but address social emotional wellness and the impact the pandemic has had on both the students and staff. We sought to identify additional opportunities for our students that fostered building social skills like self-esteem and empathy to academic skills like reading, speaking, and listening. Social emotional learning nurtures the needs of all students, provides students opportunities to express their feelings, and foster gains both academically and behaviorally that directly correlates to both the district and school goals. What you will hear tonight is broken into 4 unique sections. The first is background information. What does SEL teach us? What are the benefits of an effective program? Section 2, Mindfulness 101. Section 3, Social Emotional Wellness at Berkeley. And Section 4, Morning Meetings. SEL can help students better understand and identify their emotions. Students who are equipped to deal with problems that affect them are better equipped to navigate the pressures of adult life, where making responsible decisions and practicing self-discipline are imperative to life skills. No, that's right. The benefits. No, go back one. Yeah, benefits. Berkeley embedded SEL into our daily practice for the following 4 reasons. Number 1, to improve the school and class climate. Students are practicing self-control and now making better choices. Number 2, we increased student motivation. The work we know is challenging, but we encourage our students to work towards both short-term and long-term goals. Number 3, reduced behavior problems. Because there's more ownership on appropriate behavior, we have seen a decrease in behavioral concerns. And number 4, setting and meeting goals. We discuss goals collectively and address what worked and what didn't work and what we can do differently going into trimester 2. If you have had an opportunity to follow the school on Twitter, listen to my Monday messages, we collectively work under the premise of mindfulness. So what is it? Mindfulness is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while acknowledging your feelings and thoughts. The benefit for tapping into our feelings is to help reduce anxiety and stress while increasing positive emotions, which can and usually does set the tone for our week. Each week, I start the week with the growth mindset, thought-provoking quote to kick off the week. For example, look for the good in every situation. Seek the valuable lesson in every setback. Look for the solution to every problem. Think and talk continually about your goals. We stop, we ponder, we think about it before we navigate into our instructional days. The second half of this presentation, I will turn over to two dynamic teachers who will show how they took our school-wide initiative under the SEL premise and implemented it into their classrooms. What makes both of these teachers unique is that although one services the general ed while the other service our LD population, they both uniquely do it differently, but under the same objective and school-wide goal. Therefore, each class, while different, is all held to the same standards of a growth mindset under the mindfulness presentation. I hope you enjoy their unique class presentations.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Karen Sangiovanni, and I am currently the 5th grade inclusion teacher at Berkeley School. I've taught various grade levels at Berkeley. I've been there for 21 years, and I've recently really looked into going through social emotional wellness in the school, especially now with our children who are coming back after the pandemic. I collaborated with RWJ Barnabas Health to present a hope and healing program with parents and students, and it was very well received, and the children had a great time. So we do this daily in our classroom, and I go through SEL every morning, which is social emotional learning. Do you want to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma Valdivieso. I currently teach in a learning and language disabled classroom at Berkeley School. Right now I'm teaching 3rd and 4th grade. I've taught in various grade levels and different types of special education programs. I'm part of the NER program through the district. I'm also trained in responsive classroom, which I'll talk a little bit about later on. I actually facilitated some technology workshops for parents and students. And last but not least, I've given 2 morning meeting workshops through the Bloomfield Teacher Academy already. So there are about 40 teachers who already have been integrated into the morning meeting procedures.
Okay, so I'm just going to take you through our week of SEL at Berkeley. Every day is a different topic. On Mondays, we have Mindful Monday. So we start off the week, like Dr. Baxter said, we take a few minutes and we think about what we want to do throughout the week. We do mindful strategies. We do a little bit of yoga in the morning. We do a little bit of meditating, a little bit of, kind of easing our way into the work week. And there's different activities at the end of our short mindfulness to get our week started. On Tuesday, we do Take Charge Tuesday, where we practice being responsible for ourselves and for our behaviors throughout the day, and we'll talk about how we're going to do those things. There's always a takeaway at the end, or there's kind of like a goal for the day. So on Tuesday, we kind of talk about the goal and how we're going to achieve that throughout the day. And then at the end of the day on Tuesday, I try to bring them back together and talk about what we did throughout the day to wrap it up. On Wednesday, we do self-aware, because you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. And I really am trying to get the children, especially in 5th grade, they're at an age where they can start to realize they have to take care of themselves before they have to take care of anybody else. And if they're not happy, then they're going to project that on other people. So it's really taking a look at where they are in their life and their day and their week and how they're going to either make it better or they're going to continue to have a great week. Thoughtful Thursday is when we think of others socially and we're aware of it and we thank others that we've come in contact with throughout the week, or we make it a point that we're going to thank somebody or going to make somebody aware of what they've done for us for the week. And Friendly Friday is when we branch out and we try to make a new friend and we try to include others, whether it's on the playground or in the classroom or just in their everyday life. So we kind of wrap it up on Friday with Friendly Friday. This next slide is just a few pictures of what the kids are presented with. So because it's December, we have a Christmas tree theme, and they know that every day of the week is the same title, but there's going to be a different activity. There's always a greeting, there's a share, and some of the pictures are of what we've done with our class. Sometimes we do it anonymously. If the kids are going to share, there are some things that are personal that they might not feel comfortable saying out loud, so I use Post-its a lot, and they have the choice to be anonymous, or they can put their names on it. The activity in the bottom middle was where they were given a Post-it with someone else's name on it, and they had to write something about that person. And one of the questions I got from my students was, well, I don't really know that person, so how can I really say something nice about them? And I said, well, think about what you would want somebody to say to you. And it really makes them start to think, and have empathy for other people. So these are just some lists of things we made on the board about what made us happy and how we take a few minutes in the morning to get our day started. And it's about a 10-minute lesson, and it really sets the tone for the whole day and going throughout the week.
So in my classroom, we do morning meetings every day. It's actually part of the responsive classroom, and they define morning meeting as an engaging start to the day, building a strong sense of community, and set up children for success socially and academically. And I can truly testify that morning meetings are definitely wanted in the classroom. If I skip it for any day, if we're running late, they're like, wait a minute, we missed morning meeting, take it back. So I'm like, all right, we have to be flexible. So morning meetings are truly important. This is how we start our day, and I'll go over the different components. Okay, so a morning meeting has 4 different components. It starts off with a greeting, share, activity, and it ends with a message. So although you may think of a morning meeting of a calendar time or singing along and things like that, although you can include that in your morning meeting actually is very structured. So a greeting is where students are able to greet the teachers, students are able to greet each other. A share is when they can either share about themselves. It's also a time where students learn how to stop, listen, and then ask questions. And the activity is either a activity that we do together, but all in all, it encourages teamwork, and it gives a really strong start for our day. And we end our morning meeting with a message. And at this time, if we have a concert coming up, if we have an author reading, I let them know in the beginning of the day, because in my special education classroom, it's very structured and there's a change to the day. I let them know in morning meeting. So here are our greetings. Our greetings can be done either all together, individual, or a student can call on each other. At this point, students know how to make eye contact with each other. They know how to stop. They know how to learn how to wait their turn, how to greet each other. A greeting could be as simple as a handshake, a wave, it could be a butterfly greeting, but it could also be something silly, like, for example, this one says act like, and it says greet classmates while acting, moving and making sounds like an owl. So I'll give them 1 minute, get up, move around, and act like an owl and greet each other. Our share, this is a time, it's actually one of my favorite components of morning meeting. This top right picture shows my students in a circle, and in the morning, on Monday morning, I give them a journal, and they can give me 1 different activity that was a favorite in their weekend. So they're already practicing writing, they're practicing matching pictures to their words. And not only that, if they choose, and this is something that Ms. Giovanni had mentioned before, if they choose, like they're ready and they're confident to share, they make that decision and they bring their journal to the carpet. They make that choice. Once they share, then they say, now I'm ready for questions and comments. And then they're able to choose 2 different people to ask them a question or give them a kind comment. To the middle, it can be a silent share. So if you don't really feel confident in speaking out loud, this could be up on the smartboard first thing and they give their share. It just gave them a different type of beverage. And then last but not least, all the way to the left-hand side, they were able to choose whether they wanted chocolate milk or hot cocoa. Obviously, many of them chose hot cocoa, but I turned it into a math lesson. So right now we're working on adding and subtracting. We were able to add 4 different addition and subtraction sentences to this one picture. So it's constantly academic, and it's a great start to the day. So here is our activity. My students really look forward to our activity. Oftentimes, I either do Kahoot or a Book It. It gives them different social skills. Many times it's academic focused, so I obviously am reteaching different lessons, or it could just be for fun. So students will be able to increase their confidence in different ways. So if they're really not strong in math or reading or writing, but they know how to play a specific game, they get encouraged, and that's what I need for my students in the beginning of the day. And last but not least, these are some examples of messages. So going back to anything that changes in the schedule, these are some examples of different messages, and I can also include different academic components to it.
So in conclusion, our SEL activities support our children who learn and think differently and often struggle with self-regulation, self-worth, anxiety, and sometimes low self-esteem. We found that students who are exposed to these activities daily, they feel safe while at our school, they feel respected, and they feel supported. In order for our children to achieve their personal best, SEL into the classroom encourages this and more. We found that students were 42% less likely to say that they were involved in physical aggression, 20% less bullying by students with disabilities, and there was a 13% increase in academic achievement with SEL based on our first trimester grades. So we think that this is a successful implementation we have at our school. Move on to the next slide. And there's our picture. Happy holidays, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great holiday card you got put up there, too. Thank you for coming and sharing that with us. I'm just going to open the floor to any of the board members who have questions or comments. Mr. Walker?
Great presentation. Thank you for coming in to make it. I just am curious in terms of the measurables that you reported out at the end of the presentation, with the numbers that you see there, that's just in the last calendar year, just this academic year, or is that a longer period of time?
We actually started from the end of April into when we came back to in-person instruction through the end of trimester 1, since grades just closed on Friday. So that's the measurable timeline. That's a fair question.
That's fantastic, and I really hope that the district can use that model to look at all of our schools and see what kind of impact we're having in this program, because I think it's really wonderful to see us coming back and seeing real progression. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. G?
You know, I've said quite often, I'm blessed to work in Bloomfield, and it's moments like these that really make me feel that way so much more. Karen, I was able to hire at Berkeley School. I was the principal down there. 1 year out of college, and we were fortunate enough to get Karen. And Emma was my student down at Berkeley School, and I get to work with Dr. And Karen, well, Karen's way too young for that. That's not possible. And I have the good fortune to work with Dr. Baxter on a daily basis. This mindfulness is, it's important to me. My podcast in the morning I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Sadhguru, but he talks about many different topics, one of which is mindfulness and the importance that has on all of us, not just children and also adults, and how that can make us just better people. So I applaud the three of you on an amazing presentation tonight, and kudos to Berkeley School for doing it yet again. Congrats. Happy holidays.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. Appreciate it. Before I open the floor to public session, let's just, if we can redo this microphone, and if we want to take this down so that we can see Nadija. Can we close that to go back to the meeting so that Nadija can be seen? Yeah. Sorry, folks, bear with us for a second. Perfect, there she is. Perfect. All right, so we're moving on to number 4 of your agenda, the first hearing of the public. As we've done in the past, we open it up for agenda and non-agenda items. There'll be a maximum of 45 minutes for public comment. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When you call in, we ask you that you state your name and address for the record. And the call-in number is 973-381-7200. While we're waiting for Mr. Atkinson, we'll go to Ms. Guo in her inbox.
Sure. I have received a few emails, and I'm going to list the name of the folks who sent me the emails for messages, and the messages are related to DEI. So let me start by reading the names of folks who email me. We have Chris Mimic, Nick Kotz, Stephanie Greenwood, Dr. Maria Bellamy, Lori Kessler, Jessica Brader, Tanya Ortiz, Norm Soteria, Matthew Brewster. These folks are members of the Bloomfield EDI network, and their messages are related to the point that we urge the Board of Education as that we prepare the 22-23 school year budget to consider the following items as priorities. 1, a full-time permanent DEI coordinator for the district. Number 2, restorative practice coordinators as recommended by the BEA. Item 3, salaries and incentives that make our district competitive in attracting and retaining Black, Indigenous, and the people of color teachers, administrators, and specialists. In addition, to help with the critical priority of attracting and retaining BIPOC staff and to increase trust and transparency, the group encouraged the board to make profile information about current teaching staff by gender, ethnicity, years in the profession, degree attainment in public, as well as similar information for anticipated position in 2022-23 hirings. Thank you.
Any callers? No callers. Mr. G, did you want to make a comment? Sorry, sir.
Sure, no problem. I just want to say I appreciate those folks sending that information, and it's certainly something we will take under consideration, so thank you.
Seeing no more other comments or emails from Ms. Guo or Mr. Atkinson, I'm going to close the first hearing of the public and move on to number 5. 5A, suspension report is in your packet. 5B, Mr. G, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Fishman. First of all, we continue to watch the COVID numbers in the state, the county, and our local community. We continue to reinforce our successful COVID protocols and make sure that all of our students and staff are safe. Secondly, we conclude a very successful first 4 months of school. And it is a beautiful thing that we are back in person It is great seeing the students get acclimated to their schools and their teachers, and the programs that Mr. Flores and I have been attending, the winter programs most recently, and certainly warm your heart to see the kids performing, to see the parents attending. It's always special, but after what all of us have been through the past 2 years, it's especially satisfying. With that, I'd like to thank our directors, our principal supervisors, our teachers, our secretaries, our transportation folks, our lunch folks, our parents, and our students for truly working together as a community. We could not have come as far as we have during this very, very difficult time without that kind of cooperation. In the past, I've asked for patience. In the past, I've asked for cooperation, and we have gotten it from everyone, especially our students. They have really risen to the occasion, whether it's a student athlete, whether it's an academic endeavor, whether it's a club for fun. We are making it work, and we're making it work successfully. This Board of Education is committed to the success of the school district along with this administration. So I thank all of you for everything that you do to make this school district successful, and I wish everyone a happy, safe holiday season. Thank you, President Fishman.
Thank you, Mr. G. The president's report will be brief, just a couple things, and then something that I don't want to go unnoticed. First of all, I'd like to thank and congratulate Jen Corey and her fine arts department across the district. Currently, right downstairs is going on a fabulous orchestra concert, and they have put on winter concert across the town during COVID with parents doing COVID protocol. So I'd like to congratulate her, her entire staff for making that happen for the first time in a long time. So congratulations to her. As our winter sports have opened up, I note that girls bowling team have had 2 successful victories this past week, along with our hockey team, and we wish them best of luck as they go into their holiday tournament season. Lastly, just a reminder as we come back from COVID, Mr. G just said all the great things that we're doing to keep ourselves safe. That includes following travel protocols over the break. If we could, please make sure that you are reporting any travel that needs to be reported, following those COVID procedures. If you have any questions, please reach out to your school nurse or our lead nurse for any of those questions. Because we want to stay where we are in terms of our numbers. We don't want that spike like everybody says that is going to happen after these days off. So if you could kindly and respectfully help us out with that, it would be greatly appreciated. And last but not least, I don't want this to go unnoticed, but this guy over here to my right, this happens to be Ralph Walker's last meeting. So I didn't want it to go unnoticed, and I don't want to be too sappy, but I wanted to publicly thank you for your service, and maybe more importantly, thank your family for letting us borrow you so often. I know that it could wear on your family for the amount of time that you spend with everybody in this room, the amount of time on the phone, and all the meetings that you have attended over the past 3 years. You've been an integral part of this board, serving on the Finance and Facility Committee, being a part of multiple negotiation teams, and most importantly, this past year, helping me as the Vice President. So I do appreciate all your time, effort, and energy. On behalf of the Board of Education, the administration, the staff and students of Bloomfield, we will miss you. We thank you for your service, and we would like to present you with this lovely plaque. So very quickly, if I could ask my fellow board members and administration, if we could take a quick photo, that would be great. Yeah. Perfect. Nadija, we're coming to you. Somebody want to take this photo? They're coming in?
Joe, get him not block. I'll do it.
Well, we got Jay, we got Joanne, we got Abby. Somebody can take a
Plenty of
picture.
people.
Just don't block Nadija.
Taking a selfie, right? Wait. do mask on.
Michael and Joe, can you come over a little bit?
But then we'll fly off.
Oh, sorry, I got,
Mask off, just for the picture.
we'll take 3 and then we'll edit them. Ready on the count of 3?
It's like school boards.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, last one. 1, 2, very handsome and good looking 3. Good.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
With that being said, I'd like to close my report and move on to the approval of the minutes, 6A, B, and C. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Mrs. Salinas. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dudley. Any discussion, approval of the minutes? Ms. Gould, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Dudley,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
thank you, Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Salinas,
Yes.
Vice President Walker,
Abstain.
President Fishman.
Yes. If we could move on to number 7, the curriculum and instruction package. Mr. Berger, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Fishman. The Bloomfield Board of Education Curriculum Committee met on Thursday, December 9th at 12 o'clock via Google Meet from Jen Corey's office at in room 326. This is the agenda and the minutes. The attendees included myself, Mr. Flores, Mr. Morse, Mr. Anderson, President Fishman, Jen Corey, Scott Orlovsky, and Mr. D. Brandon Domling. I would just like to read this first bit. The committee started out with a little field trip to visit the Cicely Tyson School of Performing Arts in East Orange. A very gracious thank you to Principal English and his staff for being such gracious hosts. As a team, we were able to tour, discuss, and envision how some of the concepts would work right here in Bloomfield that they're using in EO. The committee was very inspired and would like to build on this momentum in the area of the fine arts. Jen Corey also provided us with an update, colleagues, that is inside the minutes. We have one curriculum guide for review, the general music, K6. Excuse me. Also a new course proposal. Thank you very much, JD, for a nutrition, fitness, and wellness proposal. We're looking forward to seeing the curriculum when it comes through. We took a look at the draft presentation from Berkeley School and Dr. Baxter. We went over in detail, we're not done yet, the ESSER 3 funding update. We had a student prints update, which is the newspapers from the high school. The list of EpiPen delegates, the professional conferences are in your packet. May I make a motion, President Fishman, for 7A through 7F, please?
Thank you, Mr. Berger. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Discussion. Mr. Heller.
Thank you, President Fishman. Chair Berger, I note with great interest the one item that was on the minutes that isn't necessarily for discussion at this point, but I think that the forward thinking that the committee has with regard to some additional skills within our teaching staff is really great, and I look forward to see what you guys come up with there.
Yeah, first thing next year, Mr. Heller.
Thank you both. Anyone else? Ms. Goldman, have a roll call, please.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Dudley,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Salinas,
Yes.
Vice President Walker,
Yes.
President Fishman.
Yes. We are on to finance and facility. Mrs. Salinas, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Fishman. Our subcommittee met Wednesday, December 8th. Present was myself, Ms. Dudley, Vice President Walker, President Fishman, Ms. Guo, and Mr. Skazova. Mr. Skazova provided updates on the following facility projects: the roof replacements at Forest Glen and Franklin, the project completed, and it's waiting for a final walkthrough to close out. The security camera upgrades at BMS and BHS. BMS has one camera remaining to be installed. BHS progressing smoothly with a target completion date of 1/10/22. Foley Fieldhouse, we're still waiting for the NJDEP's review, planning to go out to bid in late spring of 2022. The BMS HVAC upgrades and window replacement, planning to go out to bid in March and award in April of 2022. Mr. Walker shared with the committee options for the construction for efficiency and effectiveness. Ms. Guo discussed with the committee the resolution to approve payment application number 5 submitted by the roofing project contractor Galia Construction. She indicated thereafter this payment will be approximately 12% of the total contracted amount remaining for project closeout. And Ms. Guo shared with the committee the presentation on how the administration is proposing to spend the ESSER 3 basic grant and various subgrants based on the allowable uses in the program guidelines. Committee members discussed the proposed positions in the Accelerated Learning Coaching and Educator Support subgrant and requested the administration to engage in further review and evaluation on this proposal. We adjourned at 3:50. This concludes my report, President Fishman. Can I have a motion to move 8A through 8J?
Can I get a motion? We need a mic on. I got Ms. Dudley and I got Mr. Walker. First and second, discussion. Ms. Guo, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Dudley,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Salinas,
Yes.
Vice President Walker,
Yes.
President Fishman.
Yes. We are on to number 9 of your agenda, the Personnel and Management. Mr. Heller, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Fishman. Tonight's Personnel and Management Committee agenda items include the typical resignations, retirements, appointments, terminations, adjustments, and transfers, rescinding earlier personnel actions and making changes to leaves of absence, recognizing degree advancement, approving substitutes, approving extra compensation, and approving student teaching field experiences. The committee met on Thursday, December 9th. The full committee was in attendance. President Fishman, Board Member Green, myself, and Mr. Datoli as the administrative representative. We reviewed the personnel notes that appear on tonight's agenda. Of note, a thank you to those who are departing from the district, and we thank you for your service and wish you the best of luck either in retirement or whatever your future endeavors may bring you. We also are impressed once again by the degree attainment moving from an MA 15 to an MA 30. It's really a testament to the strong educational teaching staff that we have here in district and how they continue to seek degree advancement rather than just arrive at the district, and that's all the schooling that they've ever done. The committee reviewed the American Rescue Plan, or ESSER 3 grant application proposal from the administration, and like the other subcommittees, we look forward to some additional input from the administration. Mr. Datoli was able to provide us with an overview and addressed all of the questions that we had. We had a possible executive item this evening, and Mr. Datoli announced during the meeting that it had been resolved amicably. And finally, Mr. Datoli gave us, as he does, candid and comprehensive update on vaccine compliance and the COVID dashboard reports. And with that, I would like to move agenda items, got to get to the right letter, the right number, 9A through 9M.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Berger. Discussion. Roll call, please, Ms. Guo.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Dudley,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Salinas,
Yes.
Vice President Walker,
Yes.
President Fishman.
Yes. We are on to number 10 of your agenda, policies and regulations. May I have a motion for 10A and B,
Motion.
please? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. Thank you, Mr. Berger. Discussion. I feel like I'm like an auctioneer here. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure.
We're going so fast.
Mr. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Dudley,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Salinas,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice President Walker,
Yes.
President Fishman.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are we adding ma'am now? Just making sure. We're now on to the second hearing of the public number 11 on your agenda items. For all that are following along, there'll be a maximum of 45 minutes for public comment. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. And this is dedicated to non-agenda and agenda items. We've opened it up to both. We're going to go to Mr. Atkinson first. No callers. Emails. No emails. Seeing none, we'll close the hearing of the public and move on to number 12, business. First with delegate and ad hoc committee reports. New business, old business, and information items. Go ahead, Mr. Heller.
Sorry, I'm struggling with my mask. I just wanted to take a second and, if you'll indulge me, I just wanted to give a sincere thank you to all of my colleagues. It has been quite a 3-year period that we've all been working together, and it has been a tremendous experience for me, both personally and professionally. I can't tell you how many conversations we've all had individually and as a group about things that really truly matter. And it's always challenging for me in this room to hold my tongue, but I wanted to just say for a second that this truly is the power of an activated community, a group of people who care very deeply about kids, about education, and about where we're going as a country and as individuals. It may not be seen in the day-to-day business that we do, and for those of you who are watching at home or who listen in the public, you see so little of what we actually do in this role. But the people who are here putting in the work day in and day out really are doing yeoman's work, and it is work. It is hard work. So I just wanted to take a moment as an outgoing board member to say to my 8 colleagues on the board, thank you. Thank you from me. Thank you from my children. Thank you from my family. And to the administrators and the teachers, particularly Joe, Sal, Nick, and Vicky, you guys are tremendous. I've really appreciated the work we've done together, and I really, truly thank you all for the work that you continue to do. So that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Mr. Heller?
I'm not quite sure how I could possibly even follow that or top that. But Ralph, you will be missed. That was actually not the point of why I raised my hand. But in district, we had a very successful sustainability year in that all of our elementary schools were recognized. All of our district schools were recognized by Sustainable Schools New Jersey for bronze level certification. New Jersey School Boards has been doing some partner webinars with Sustainable Jersey and their Digital Schools Star program. That's the, bless you, that's the successor program to the Future Ready Schools New Jersey program that the district put a lot of effort into and unfortunately was not recommended for in the past. And one of the things that that in one of these partner webinars they noted was that there's a high degree of support for the application process, that the application process actually has 3 submission time periods, and that there's a fair amount of transferability of an earlier Future Ready Schools New Jersey application to this new format that Sustainable Jersey does in conjunction with former officials from the New Jersey Department of Education. The Technology Committee has not met during this school year, and that's entirely on me as committee chair. There just wasn't any matter that needed to be addressed, and most of our activity anyway has been related to reviewing what would be the technology budget for the upcoming school year. But I hope that we could actually, as a district, consider pursuing the Sustainable Jersey Digital School STARS program. There's a deadline that comes up in January very quickly, but then another one in March. And I'm hoping that the board would be in support of this, that the administration would be in support of this, and that we could pursue this. To that end, there is a New Jersey School Boards and Sustainable Jersey Schools webinar at 2 this week via Facebook Live. Well, you click on the link in Facebook Live and then it takes you out to, I don't know, GoToMeeting or some other platform. At 2 this Thursday, the 16th of December, and hopefully some fellow board members and or administrators can also participate and become a little bit more informed about the opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Heller, if you could do me a favor and just shoot an email, especially CCing myself, Mr. Flores, Mr. G, so that we can look further into that. I'd greatly appreciate it. Mr. Berger.
Thank you, President Fishman. I just wanted to say a couple words, Mr. Walker. I must have spoken to Ralph 100 times on his ride home from work. I know it was 5:30 and we're getting ready to mix it up about the school board, and Ralph has always spoken from the heart. I cannot believe, Ralph, that it was 3 years ago when the Four Horsemen, when we got on this board, you, me, Mr. Morse, and Mr. Heller, and we came in here and we wanted to change things. And I want to real briefly say, what are the measurables? How do you know? How do you know if you're a board member that you did it right when you go home at night and when you're coming in the morning, or when you decide not to run again? And by every measurable, Ralph, we did a fantastic job. The fact is that this school district is better now having you on it than it did before you were here. And that is the measurable, along with the plaque, that you can hopefully think of in the future. We're going to miss you.
Thank you, Mr. Berger. Anything else before I move to everybody's favorite part of the meeting? Oh, Mr. G, go ahead.
I just want to say, Ralph, thank you for the kind words when you were speaking before, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. We wish you and your family the best in the future, and obviously we'll be seeing you, and we look forward to that. So God bless you, your family, and have a great holiday season. Thank you.
Just before we go to adjournment, to all the people out in Facebook land, TV land, we want to wish you and your families a happy and healthy holiday season. We want to wish you a happy and healthy new year. We want to see everybody back smiling, rested, having had a great break in early January. And with that being said, I'd like to ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
And a second? Thank you, Ms. Dudley. All in favor?
Aye.
Happy New Year, everybody.